stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I'm back. I even went to a meeting during that time. No, nobody's even in that group anymore. I don't even probably close that group down. All right, post it. Post it. Thank you. Okay. Post it. Post it. I should make sure I have sound. I do. Okay. You know, I just got to write a letter for somebody. And yes, I mean it that way. I got to do it. It's a legal thing, and this person's in a little bit of legal trouble, but I feel like they've changed. And their PO reached out to me and asked for a letter, and we had a pretty good talk, actually. Not just about what was going on with them, but about her job in general. And so I just made another contact and told her, if you're going through this stuff and you need help, let me know, man, because these young men who have made mistakes, they don't belong in jail, man. Not all of them belong in jail. I'm not saying that they didn't do anything wrong. But see, sometimes I can come along and say, hey, man, look, I need you to look at what you did, dude. And I can talk to these people because, well, I've done jail time. I know what it means to have to put on a fucking face and survive. I know what that means. All right. These are the gifts that God gives us. And I'm not asking for anything in return, just to be helpful. Just to be helpful. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. And don't worry, I don't expect everybody to always show up to all of them. So, and I never do well at one. But I'm cutting my day a little short, my working day, because, well, no, I'm not. I'm doing something after this. So, but I finally have time to do it. It's stuff I want to do. So I don't know. All right. This is not my reading book. That is my sponsee book. See, I need stuff for both sides. So, all right. So we're going to go to page 46. I looked it up right before. I believe it was 46. Nope. Oh, nope. 43. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I didn't think it was in We Agnostics. All right. I feel like I'm breaking it when I do that. No, that is not what I was looking for. Doesn't matter. Fred is a partner in a well-known accounting firm. His income is good. He has a fine house, is happily married, and a father of promising children of college age. He has so attractive a personality. This isn't what I was looking for, but we're into it. Yeah. He has so attractive personality that he makes friends with everyone. If there ever was a successful businessman, it is Fred. To all appearances, he is stable, well-balanced individual, yet he is an alcoholic. We first saw Fred about a year ago in a hospital where he had gone to recover from a bad case of the jitters. It was his first experience of this kind, and he was much ashamed of it. Far from admitting he was an alcoholic, he told himself he came to the hospital to rest his nerves. The doctor intimated strongly that he might be worse than he realized. For a few days, he was depressed about his condition. He made up his mind to quit drinking altogether. It never occurred to him that perhaps he could not do so. In spite of his character and standing, Fred would not believe himself an alcoholic, much less accept the spiritual remedy for his problem. We told him what we knew about alcoholism. He was interested and conceded that he had some of the symptoms, but he was a long way from admitting that he could do nothing about it himself. He was positive that this humiliating experience, plus the knowledge he had acquired, would keep him sober the rest of his life. We heard no more from Fred for a while. One day we were told he was back in the hospital. This time he was quite shaky. He soon indicated he was anxious to see us. The story he told was most instructive, for here was a chap absolutely convinced he had to stop drinking. He had no excuse for drinking, who exhibited splendid judgment and determination in all of his other concerns, yet he was flat on his back nevertheless. Let him tell you about it. I was much impressed with what you fellows said about alcoholism, and I frankly did not believe it would be possible for me to drink again. I rather appreciated your ideas about the subtle insanity which precedes the first drink, but I was confident it could not happen to me after what I had learned. I reasoned I was not so far advanced as most of you fellows, that I had been usually successful licking my other personal problems, and that therefore I had been successful where you men had failed. I felt I had every right to be self-confident that it would be only a matter of exercising my willpower and keeping on guard. In this frame of mind, I went about my business for a time as all was well. I had no trouble refusing drinks, began to wonder if I had not been making too hard a work of a simple matter. One day, I went to Washington to present some accounting evidence to the government bureau. I've been out of town before during this particular dry spell, so there's nothing new about that. Physically, I felt fine. My business came off well. I was pleased, and I knew my partners would be too. It was the end of a perfect day, not a cloud on the horizon. What are we dealing with here? Excitement. Carefree, worry-free. I have nothing to worry about. I went to my hotel and leisurely dressed for dinner. As I crossed the threshold of the dining room, thought came to my mind that would be nice to have a couple cocktails with dinner. That was all. Nothing more. I ordered a cocktail and my meal. Then I ordered another cocktail. After dinner, I decided to take a walk. When I returned to the hotel, it struck me a highball would be fine before going to bed. So I stepped into the bar and had one. I remember having several more that night and plenty next morning. I have a shadow recollection of being in an airplane bound for New York and finding a friendly taxi cab driver at the landing field instead of my wife. Driver escorted me about for several days. I know little where I went or what I said or did. Then came the hospital and unbearable mental and physical suffering. Hi, Patricia. As soon as I regained my ability to think, I went carefully over that evening in Washington. Not only had I been off guard, I made no fight whatever against the first drink. This time I had not thought of the consequences at all. I commenced to drink as carelessly as though the cocktails were ginger ale. I now remember what my alcoholic friends had told me, how they prophesied that if I had an alcoholic mind, the time and place would come, I would drink again. They had said that though I did not raise a defense, that I did raise a defense and will one day give way before some trivial reason for having a drink. The little things will kill. Little things will kill you. See, problems don't come in sizes. They're just problems. They're just problems. Nothing else. If you think one's bigger than the other, then that's you doing it. Okay. Well, that's just a little problem. I don't need to know. Those things will build up. Okay. Including excitement. Not having a care in the world is dangerous for an alcoholic. I do have a care in this world. I care whether I drink or not. I care whether I hurt other people or not now. That's what it comes down to, really. Two of the members of I think I saw that willpower and self-knowledge would not help me in those strange mental blank spots. I had never been able to understand people who said that the problem had them hopelessly defeated. I knew then it was a crushing blow. Two of the members of Alcoholics Anonymous came to see me. They grinned, which I didn't like so much. And then they asked me if I thought myself an alcoholic and if I were really licked this time. Well, I am. We're saying this time because they've been there before. You done now? Everything we told you came true, didn't it? Yeah. You guys must be psychic. No, we're not psychic. That's the life of an alcoholic. See, as humans, we're going to follow a certain path. We can't help ourselves. We're lemmings. We're sheep. We're not sheep, but because then you get into sheep herders and wolves and things like that. So, some of us are leaders. Some of us are followers. Everybody has an equal part to play. Yeah. And then who gets credit? Well, either all of us or God. But there is no individual in AA that gets to take credit for anything. And that's okay. It needs to be okay. If it's not, then you still have an alcoholic mind. They piled on me heaps of evidence to the effect that an alcoholic mentality, such as I had exhibited in Washington, was a hopeless condition. They cited cases out of their own experience by the dozen. This process snuffed out the last flicker of conviction that I could do the job myself. Okay. Notice it's always myself, mine. Right? Like Finding Nemo. Mine. A bunch of alcoholics go for alcohol. Mine. All right. Yeah. I'll do this myself. I drink alone. Notice this person was drinking alone. Well, who was he drinking with? Drinking alone is a very big indicator that you have a problem with alcohol. Doesn't mean you're an alcoholic. No. You might just have a problem with drinking. Who knows? I've met problem drinkers. Now they drink normally. It was a phase for them. Yeah, my first wife, she's not an alcoholic. I met her in AA, but she's not an alcoholic. But the program did work for her. She did do the steps. She did do the 4-step. She became a better person because of it. Okay. Then she would figure out later on, she thought she was an alcoholic. And for that moment, maybe she was, but our hats are off to you. Now she can drink the right way like a gentleman. Some people can do that. She was not of the hopeless variety. There's a lot of people like that. Adele quit drinking because it's just no good for her. She's not an alcoholic. She just understands, she would probably drink it by herself and is like, why am I doing this? Right? I don't know. She's a normie. Who knows? She's not an alcoholic. I'm trying to get away from calling people normies because they don't like it. Who would have thought? They don't like it. My wife's like, I don't like it when you call me a normie because then I don't feel like I'm a part of your world. Fair. That's fair, man. Though they outlined the spiritual answer in the program of action, which hundreds of them had followed successfully. Though I'd only been a nominal churchman, their proposals were not intellectually hard to swallow, but the program of action, though entirely sensible, was pretty drastic. It is. It is. What a good word for it. Drastic is correct. It meant I would have to throw several lifelong conceptions out the window. That was not easy. But the moment I made up my mind to go through with the process, I had the curious feeling that my alcoholic condition was relieved, as in fact it proved to be. In other words, he's saying, he didn't drink again. Quite as important was the discovery that spiritual principles would solve all of my problems. I have since been brought way into a living infinitely more satisfying and I hope more useful than the life I lived before. My old manner of life was by no means a bad one, but I would not exchange its best moments for the worst I have now. I would not go back to it even if I could. Fred's story speaks for itself. We hope it strikes home to thousands like him. He had only felt the first nip of the ringer. Yeah. Most alcoholics have to be pretty badly mangled before they really commence to solve their problems. Many doctors and psychiatrists agree with our conclusion. One of these men, staff member of a well-known, renowned hospital, recently made this statement to some of us. What you say about the general hopelessness of the average alcoholic flight is, in my opinion, correct. As to two of you men whose stories I have heard, there is no doubt in my mind that you were 100% hopeless, apart from divine help. Had you offered yourself as patients at this hospital, I would not have taken you if I had been able to avoid it. People like you are too heartbreaking. Though not a religious person, I have profound respect for the spiritual approach in such cases as yours. For most cases, there is virtually no other solution. Once more, the alcoholic at certain times has no effective mental defense against the first drink. Except in a few rare cases, neither he nor any other human can provide such a defense. His defense must come from a higher power. I'm bringing this up because we're back around to thinking that time is successful. I'm tired of going to meetings and people with years of sobriety. Well, I have 38 years in a week. Then we'll see you in a week. Oh, and I'm going to celebrate it all month. Fuck you. I'm serious. Why? Why? What do you have not going on in your life that you need to I had 8 years almost a month ago. I celebrated it for, well, 2 days because I did the speaker meeting also. That's it. Do I want to celebrate it more? Do I want people to be proud of me? Sure. But it's not anything sustainable. It feels fake. If it's not 30, 60, 90 days, 6, well, newcomers, they're different. But after a year, let it go. It doesn't matter because your ass belongs to AA now anyway. Okay? And time in this program doesn't give you a right to anything else. It doesn't give you more time to speak. I just haven't heard one guy that I get this many minutes because fuck you. I don't think so, man. Your time does not give you something. It's time. We made up that God didn't create time in day and night. We created time so we could understand something. And all you have is right now. There's nothing else. Everything outside of right now is a what if. It's just a what if. You know? See a lot of people playing around with this fucking program, man. Okay? What's the saying going around right now? Fuck around and find out. Well, fuck around and find out. You're gonna be drunk on your back. You'll wake up. The days are not far when you'll wake up one day in the hospital with fucking chalk all over you. Black chalk. You know how embarrassing that is? Do you know the level of shame? The person that we were just talking about, Fred, okay? Nip of the ring, just barely the nip of the ringer, man. Okay? It is, but it's not a requirement. Okay? The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. Okay? Most people that are willing to say, yeah, I kind of have an alcohol problem are usually not non-alcoholic. They're usually not alcoholic. They're just recognizing something. And that's okay. There still are people. Just because somebody isn't an alcoholic doesn't mean that they don't deserve to have a decent person in their life, right? So I am without defense against the first drink, and it doesn't matter. It'll be some trivial reason. Okay? So there's a song by Bush, it's called The Little Things Kill, and it's true. You let those little things, like white lies. Oh, it's just I don't even like white lies. Little lie. Oh, it's just a little lie. There's no such thing as a little lie. There's lying and there's honesty. There's nothing else. Okay? Stop describing your honesty on. You're either honest or you're not. There is no other. Rigorous, I'll go for. Brutal, no. You're like, oh, I'm brutally honest. Well, that just makes you an asshole. I know I'm an asshole. I'm fine being an asshole. Great. I must suck. I stopped calling myself an asshole a long time ago. All right. That's what I got. Now I'm going to decide whether I'm going to do a podcast here or not. So, all right. Well, I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you for being here. I love you. Peace out and have a day.